We're back in the UK with another episode of Worth the Calories. I say back in the UK, I think the last episode of Worth the Calories was like a Lidl special edition one, which I actually filmed pre-holiday but posted it last week. And then also last week, was it last week or the week before? Oh dear. I did an Egypt edition. Anyway, if I go on the time frame of me recording Worth the Calories videos, I did the Lidl Worth the Calories video before going on holiday. Then I've done the Egypt one, which is why I'm saying we're back in the UK. That was not needed whatsoever, but anyway, we got there in the end. I also have no idea, I say this all the time, I think this is episode 29? We're on 29? I think this is episode 29. Anyway, enough burbling on. What are we starting off with? We are starting off with a brand new protein meal from ALDI. I got back from holiday. I nipped into ALDI on Friday. I didn't do any shopping really. I just went and had a little mooch. Got a couple of bits, bit of bread, got some bacon because I was craving a proper bacon sandwich. I did have a bacon butty on the plane on the way home from Egypt. It was actually all right. Didn't quite hit the spot, not the same as making it yourself. So I went and got some bread and bacon and spotted these. I say these, there is another protein meal which will be coming further on in this episode. But anyway, I'm going to just talk about this one to start off with. This is Protein Singapore Noodles. So when I think of Singapore noodles, things like Singapore vermicelli, is it from the Chinese? So kind of, yeah, chow mein with a little bit of curry, a little bit of heat. This is 295 calories for 29 grams of protein. Amazing macros. What's the fibre in here? I have put it on my social media. Oh, it's just doing it per 100 grams. I'll check the fibre in a minute and I'll let you know. But anyway, 295 calories for 29 grams of protein is just superb. I do get a little bit worried at times when ready meals are very low calorie. It can come at the expense of some flavour. But you know what? It looks decent. Some big chunks of chicken in there. Lots of veggies in there. So, yeah, I've kind of got some high hopes. How long do we cook it for? 5 minutes. That'll do. Right. Let's stick it in the microwave. And I'll be back shortly. Right, 5 minutes in the microwave. We are back. I did check out that fibre, by the way. 5 grams of fibre. That's really good. That is like 1/6 of your RDA, recommended daily intake or allowance. So yeah, 1/6 is decent. And I assume that's because it's got lots and lots of veggies in it. Anyway, smell test. Smells all right. It's not got a very strong smell, as it were. But yeah, it smells all right. It looks very clean. And what I mean by that is, when I say it looks very clean or very fresh, it's got lots and lots of veggies in it, nice chunks of chicken breast. Looks good. Right. I'm kind of dawdling a little bit because it looks flipping hot. And I don't want to burn my mouth off. Anyway. That's a big pot. That looks like it's going to hurt because it looks really hot. Right, I'm going in with a bit of caution. You know by now we always need to. Oh, really hot. Oh, really hot. I had to turn away then just to save you seeing me spit out a load of Singapore protein noodles, because that will put you off it for life. That bite then was really hot. Anyway, I did manage to get a second bite in there. Doesn't taste about. I'll be honest with you, it does, but it is pretty bland. And to be honest with you, I didn't discuss this before. I did look at the traffic light system, and it is literally green, 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 which is great in terms of it's low in fat, it's low in saturated fats, it's low in sugar, it's low in salt. But we only really need to watch those things if we've got any major health issues that, might be, made worse if we overconsume. And again, it's all about overconsumption. It's very rare you see low salt. It is very on a ready meal, but that does make it a bit bland. But it doesn't taste bad. The noodles are nice, the chicken's nice, textures, lots of veg in there. It basically just needs some Susie salt. That is what it needs. I know I always judge things on face value, but I'm adding some seasoning to it. I'm going to add some seasoning to it. It's going to need it. It just is. You can just tell that from, like I say, that traffic light system. It's really low in salt. Let's add a bit of salt. And again, I always say I judge things on face value. Judging things after you've added a bit of seasoning for your own personal taste, there's probably nothing wrong with that, right? Immediately 10 times better. Immediately 10 times better. It just needs adjusting the salt, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it's going to absolutely blow your socks off, because it's still not blowing my socks off. But that salt is just bringing out the flavour a little bit. There's a nice bit of heat from the sauce. The quality of the noodles, the chicken and the veg is really, really good. Just for me personally, it's slightly lacking in a little bit of flavour. You can't deny how good the macros are. 295 calories, 29.1 grams of protein, 5 grams of fibre. Absolutely superb. I also don't mind actually giving food a dusting of salt, especially when the salt in there is already pretty low. So, yeah, I like it. Like I say, has it rocked my world? No. But we do need to take into account how good all those numbers are. Does it taste bad? Absolutely not. Does it taste amazing? Absolutely not. It's kind of just on the fence. But it's going to get a 7 out of 10 for me. And anything over a 7, I'm always going to say, is worth the calories. Next up, number 2 for this episode of Worth the Calories. We are in the office because it is afternoon snackage time, and I'm taking a little break from work to enjoy, well, hopefully I'm going to enjoy, a Kefir protein pouch from Aldi. It doesn't say the new on the packet, but I'm assuming they are new, and I'll tell you why, because I have never seen them before. Just in case anyone only wants to buy their kefir yogurt from Ireland, it is very clearly labelled Made in West Cork. That might be important for some. It certainly isn't important for me. But anyway, yes, Made in West Cork. 14 live cultures, fat-free live yogurt. And that's the big thing about kefir. It is a type of fermented milk, like all yogurts are. And why it gets a heavy promotion is very good for gut health. I think it probably says it on here somewhere, does it? Maybe not. I don't know. A big thank you to the cows on the back. The cows who love grazing on the island of Ireland's luscious green grass. The grass that helps them to produce tasty fresh milk. The milk that goes into every spoonful of Duneen, which is the make. Anyway, I didn't need to read that out, but I have read it out. Anyway, yes, kefir is very good for gut health. Apparently, that's its big selling point. All yogurt has live cultures in it and is good for your gut health. Even these with a little bit of additives in are still going to improve your gut health. And that is why I'm having them today, because I'm not going to go into too many details, but I've had a little bit of a dodgy tummy for the last couple of days. So I thought, let's get something that's good for the old digestive system and the old gut health in my tummy. And we'll see if that improves it. Anyway, we've got mango that is 131 calories for 15 grams of protein. And then we've got strawberry, which is 126 calories for 15 grams of protein. My last experience with kefir was the drink that I got from Lidl that had no flavouring in it whatsoever. And it was absolutely rank. So I am hoping these are going to be a little bit better. Right, I'm going to start off with the mango. I love mango flavour. I love anything tropical. Mango, passion fruit, pineapple. Oh, yes, please. Right. These pouches are really handy. You know, you can stick them in your lunchbox, take them to work, stick them in the kids', school bags, little afternoon snack. Anyway, let's give them a go. I'll be honest with you, it does taste like a yoghurt protein pouch. I would not have a clue that it was kefir. If that was just protein yoghurt written on the front, yeah, I wouldn't know any different. It's maybe a little bit thinner, a little bit, not a lot, thinner than a protein yoghurt. It tastes nice. It does have some added sugar. Dun, dun, dun. Added into it, so it's not a no added sugar product. So some of the sugar contained in here isn't just lactose from the milk. There is some added sugar in here as well. And I'm actually quite glad of that because, like I said, the last bit of kefir I had was absolutely rank. This is quite palatable. Calorie to protein ratio is decent. And yeah. The only thing I'd say about it is, just after my third little taste there, maybe got a slight chalky aftertaste, but it's not a major negative thing. Anyway, that just tastes like standard kind of protein yoghurt, mango flavoured protein yoghurt. Let's try the strawberry one. That is absolutely rank. Why is that rank? Why is that one all right and that one absolutely rank? It's just got a really weird flavour. It's got a hint of like that, you know, any strawberry sort of flavoured yoghurt, protein yoghurt. It's got a hint of that flavour. But, you know, I said this one was a little bit chalky. That is really chalky. That is disgusting. That is absolutely awful. Right, I'll rate that one straight away. That is a 1 out of 10. Absolutely disgusting. Worth the calorie, great protein to calorie ratio, but that is absolutely irrelevant if it tastes absolutely minging, and that tastes absolutely minging. Worth the calories for that one. This one, on the other hand, I'm going to go in. This is going to taste even better now after this one. I was going to have half a pouch of each. I think I've had about half a pouch of this one. I was going to have half a pouch of each and have the other half tomorrow. I'm going to finish this one off now. That is going in the bin. I mean, that's not blowing my socks off, but it's 10 times better than that one. Yeah, if you are wrapped up in the old kefir is fantastic for gut health and you want a little snack pouch for the afternoon, I can, I recommend that. I think it's pretty decent. Like I say, it's not blown me away. Are there better options out there? I really like the yogurt drinks in Aldi, and the mango one of those is fantastic. They also do other sort of pouches that are yogurt, and I just don't think there are any really better than that. They're pretty low calorie though, maybe a bit better portion control for a pouch because they're a bit smaller. I think they're normally 200 grams are their normal pouches, and that's 160. Look, that's pretty decent. It's pretty palatable for me. It's not going to set my world on fire, but to have that as a little afternoon snack, just get a bit of protein in the system, fill you up a little bit, just have a bit of added sugar. That might be something that people might want to watch. But that's pretty decent. I'm going to go right on the fence, 7 out of 10. Is it worth the calories? Well, the protein to calorie ratio, very, very good. And the flavours, yeah, I like it. It's all right. So I'm going to say that one is worth the calories. Worth the calories, and we're on number 3 for this episode. The first thing I reviewed was the Singapore noodles. At the same time, I bought this Cajun beef number. So without further ado, let's give the packaging a bit of a prick, stick it in the microwave, and let's see if it's any good. Right, this is a 2.5 minute jobby. Give it a stir and then give it another 2.5 minutes. So while it's doing its first 2.5 minutes, let me give you some info about this Cajun beef. It is 406 calories. It contains 1 of your 5 a day. It's low fat. It has 28 grams of protein in it. I've actually just recorded a little bit of content talking about calorie to protein ratio. And when we're looking at a meal like this, to determine if a meal's got a decent amount of protein in it, when it's going to contain carbs and probably a little bit of fat as well, times the amount of calories by 0.07, and then compare that number to the amount of protein. And if it's equal to or less, that meal has got a good amount of protein in it. So this is 406 calories, times it by 0.07, just use your calculator on your phone. And that number is 28, and this has got 28 grams of protein. So yeah, it's got a decent amount of protein in it. What else has it got in it? I also like to look at fibre, because that's something else that fills us up. Not a simple flipping meal nutritional label. It's all in 100 grams. So I'll have to do some calculations. Oh no, it has got it individually. 19.6 grams of fibre. Hellfire. So we're getting 28 grams of protein, nearly 20 grams of fibre. That is 2/3 of your RDA for fibre. And it weighs 385 grams, so the portion size isn't bad either. Cooked minced beef with vegetables, mixed beans, red quinoa and brown basmati rice. No wonder it's got all that fibre in it, in a chili sauce. Anyway, let's get it pinned to perfection, and let's give it a go. As always, the important thing is, does it taste good? Right, we've got a Newt Cajun beef dish here. It certainly doesn't look like the picture, not that they ever do, because you've got to mix it up halfway through. Veggies, we've got sweet corn, peppers. I think that might be like, I'm only trying it just because I'm trying to determine what leafy green it is. Some sort of cabbage, maybe a cavallonero or something like that. Right, cavallonero. We've got kidney beans in here. My first impressions are, it doesn't smell of very much, and it looks a little bit dry. Looks, though, can be deceiving. Now, in the Singapore noodles, I didn't mind adding a little bit of salt, and I don't mind adding a bit of salt or pepper to any dish to improve it, because I'm a salt fiend anyway. But if it's dry, that means it's going to need some sauce added to it. And sauce is changing the dish, so we've got to take that into consideration. Anyway, it's all mulched together, so I'm just going to try and get a little bit of everything on there and see where we get to. All my worries have come together in those 2 mouthfuls. It is dry. It's dry. And, at the end of the day, it's brown rice, it's quinoa, it's foods that are very, very good for us. Loads of health benefits in there, but just naturally going to need a good amount of sauce, and there just isn't that good amount of sauce. It's a little bit bland as well. It actually doesn't taste of loads. I love the amount of veggies in it, and it feels really healthy, but I always say this, our food's got to taste good, and this tastes and feels exactly how people picture health food, which is why people really struggle to adhere to a diet, because they think they need to eat stuff like this, which is, it's a bit dry, it's a bit, like birdseed. Basically, it's like eating birdseed. And straight away, people are going to go, if I've got to eat something like this for the next year or 2 years to get down to my goal weight, I'm just not interested. I'd rather be fat. And that's that's how I always think. When I eat something and I'm just like, I've done it so many times throughout the years, I'm like, is this what I have to eat to lose weight? Because if it is, I'll just stay fat. Thank you very much. That is what this is. It isn't great at all. I could add salt to it, but salt is going to maybe bring out a bit of flavour, but it certainly isn't going to improve the dryness. Let me add a pinch of salt and see if it gets any better. I'm just going to judge it. I will judge it with a bit of extra seasoning in it. The salt definitely improves the flavour, but it still tastes like birdseed. Do you know what I'm going to put on it? And I'm kind of going to give you a bit of a 2-for-1 here, because I've been to B&M this morning and I've picked up this hot chili Peperami sauce. I've got the original one, like the more milder one, and I really like it. And I thought, you know what? Well, let's get the hot one. I think this dish is definitely going to be drastically improved with a bit of this hot sauce. Let's try the sauce. Oh, that's nice. It's quite, I don't know how to describe these sauces. They're quite thin. They're more like a marinade really than an actual sauce, because they're quite thin, and they're a little bit vinegary, so they're not like a barbecue. I mean, they're called a chili sauce. The green one, yeah, the green one is more barbecuey than that one. That's got a little bit more vinegary, and it has got a kick of heat. It's not stupidly hot though, but I do like spice. By the way, I do highly recommend both those sauces, certainly for the calories. So yeah, well, you're getting a 3-for-1, aren't you? Anyway, these sauces are great. I really, really like them. They're about 20 calories per tablespoon, and they're a thumbs up, and I'll rate them both a good 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, let's get back to this dish with a bit of this. You might be like, yeah, I'll try that Cajun sauce, but I'll get, let's try it with a good bit of the hot sauce on it, like chili sauce. Instantly makes it more more palatable, instantly. Still not great though. I'm probably going to eat the rest of it because I've got nothing else for my lunch today. Can't be bothered making anything else. As its own standalone dish, 3 out of 10 worth of calories. Not for me. Last one for this episode of Worth the Calories. Technically, I was going to say, I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a shorter one. I've only done 4 items, but actually adding those Peperami sauces in, please. Right, last one for this episode of Worth the Calories. And I was going to say, this is number 4, and we're only doing 4 in this video. But I just remembered in the last review that we did, we had the Peperami sauces. So technically, we have got 5 items in this one. Anyway, I've got some bread. I've got some rye bread. I've seen this I've had rye bread before, but I don't think I've seen this brand before. Baker Street Seeded Rye Bread. I got this in Morrison's. A lot of people say to me, I always talk about high protein, high fibre diet, great for suppressing appetite. People seem to pretty much have the protein nailed down, but I do get a lot of comments saying, how do I get more protein into my diet? Rye bread. Not just rye bread, there's lots of different ways, but this stuff per 100 grams, in fact, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to get some in the toaster, because you've got to have rye bread toast. I'm going to have a little bit untoasted, but I think to make it palatable, you've got to have it toasted. Let me get it in the toaster, then we'll talk about some finer details about what's in it. Right, the rye bread is in the toaster. I've weighed another slice. This weighs 67 grams. So let's do some comparisons between this and Warburton's toasty bread, which is the goat of white bread. So this rye bread for 67 grams is 159 calories. The toaster's just popped, if you heard that. The Warburton's toasty bread is 164. So this is slightly less calories for 67 grams. There's 4.8 grams of protein in 67 grams of the rye bread, 67 grams of Warburton's toasty. There is 6.1, so more protein in the white bread. But I've talked about fibre when it comes to this bread. And 67 grams of this stuff has 5.6 grams of fibre, whereas the Warburton's Toasty has 1.5. So basically, this is a high fibre bread. That is what it's all about. I don't know if you heard it, but yes, it has pinged, but I have put it on again because I always feel with bread like this, it needs toasting like to death, basically. So I always have my toaster set at like 2 minutes. So 2 minutes of toastiness. And then something like this, I'll put it on again. Crumpets, I toasted about 6 flipping times. Right, let's get a knife out. Let me pop this actually. Let me just see what it's like. Oh no, it can handle a bit more. Right, let's try it raw. I did a bread similar to this that I got from Asda that was like a protein. I can't remember exactly what it was called. Very similar to rye bread. Okay. Yeah, it's what you get with rye bread. It is quite dry, quite claggy, chewy. Tasty though. Got a little bit of kind of, not as sweet, but a bit more of, not a bit more, but a bit of a like malt loaf kind of flavour to it. Anyway, bit of butter on it. Much better with a bit of butter on it. I mean, butter makes everything better, doesn't it? But like I say, this sort of bread to me, it's not a bread you're going to use to make a butty with. You're going to use it. Great for beans on toast. Great toasted. Great for beans on toast. Might make a good toasted sandwich. Nice with maybe a little bit of cream cheese on there, a little bit of meat on there, something like that. It definitely has its place. And like I say, it is loaded with fibre. Right, let's get the toasted bit out. Very well toasted bit. Right? And then let's get some butter on there. Gotta get your butter on. Oh, should I try it? Let's try it toasted. That bit hasn't not got no butter. Just dry toasted rye bread. Right, let's go for the butter bit. There's honestly just something about bread like this that's been toasted. It's just delicious. With butter on. Excuse me, boss. I'm doing a worth of calories video. Anything? It's delicious. I can't stop eating it. Love it. If you want to get your fibre up and you love a nice bit of toast, get some of this rye bread. Absolutely banging. One slice of that, 6 grams of protein. That's a fifth of your RDA of protein boxed off. A little bit of butter on. 2 slices of that is what? 320 calories. And it's going to give you 320 calories, and it's going to give you 12 grams of protein. Whack a tin of beans on there. You're all right. You're at nearly 700 calories. Flipping heck. You'll have about 40 grams of fibre in it. Love bread like that, but it has to be toasted and it has to have butter on it. I'm giving it a 7.8 out of 10. And if you take it for what it's meant for, if that makes sense, or eat it in the right way, I think it's delicious. Worth the calories for me personally to get a whacking bit of fibre in your diet. Absolutely it is. Right, there we go. That's it for this episode. I'm still eating toast with butter on it. And do you know what? I am not sorry whatsoever. We'll start again. Yeah, that's it for this episode. Anything in the episode, that you like the sound of, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go and take the dogs for a walk because they're going absolutely bonkers. Anyway, yeah, let me know in the comments. The standard drill. And until next time I see you, make sure you are bossing your weight loss.